And with that, it's my pleasure to welcome Jimena Reyes, Director for the Americas at the International Federation for Human Rights. Jimena.
Hello, everyone. FIDH deeply adheres to the Warsaw Principles as a way to continue the fight back against the erosion of the rule of law. And this we have to do together. How? Combating disinformation by denouncing and informing. Yes, we clearly adhere to Principle 4, protect human rights and safeguard fundamental freedoms in line with international standards. Let me give you some examples. Last February, we released a report on the regional convergence of repressive practice and shrinking space in the Sahel, focusing on Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Chad, countries that have been confronted with successive military coups and that have weakened their institutions. The report, through a description of 60 cases, highlight the use of arbitrary arrest, enforced disappearances, threat, including online threat, attacks on the right to freedom of expression and assembly. And we will continue denouncing these regional trends, both in those countries and internationally, to obtain change. More and more countries are entering this gray area between democracy and authoritarian regime. Another example is the case of Peru. Despite that situation, Peru is in the process of joining the OECD. The OECD promotes respect of standards relating to democracy, rule of law, and environmental sustainability. Through advocacy activities based on the note that you can find on the website if you're interested, we are requesting the OECD to condition Peru's accession to respect of those standards, denouncing the fact that Peru is increasingly heading in an authoritarian direction. In the last 3 years, there has been a dismantling of oversight mechanisms in the country, including for the environment, attacks on the independence of the judiciary, the approval of anti-NGO law, and the extrajudicial execution of 67 young persons in demonstrations. All this alarming demonstrates real drift against the rule of law and civil society in Peru. But our attention must also focus on the abuse occurring in what we tend to view as consolidated democracies in the global north. As part of a larger effort to document the erosion of a civic space in Western Europe, we will publish in the fall the result of an international fact-finding mission in France, focusing on documenting restrictions on the right of freedom of peaceful assembly, association, including against environmental activists and voices denouncing the genocide happening in Gaza. On the how, also, besides denouncing, litigation is a strong instrument that we will continue to use in implementing the Warsaw Principles. Some examples. Last month, we won an UG case against Syrian Majda Nema, former spokesperson of a high official in the Syrian armed group Jaish al-Islam. He has been sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment for war crimes. This case, and one that we won last year against with an arrest warrant against Assad, will continue to bring hope and, in the construction of accountability. Obviously, besides hope, the situation of Syria is in an interesting transition, and we will continue to work towards supporting Syrian civil society to build democracy pretty much from scratch. Last March, we sent an observation mission to trial of 40 Tunisian prisoners of conscience, including lawyers, politicians, human rights defenders, researchers, and journalists. Key figures of the Tunisian opposition and human rights defenders detained on unfounded charges with no due process guarantee. Despite our denouncing of the instrumentalization of the judiciary, they were condemned to more than 1,000 years of prison. 4 colleagues from us, fighting for freedom. Yes, we do commit to implement Principle 1 of the Warsaw Principle. There's 30 seconds left, that's the way. Okay, so I'm going for the last example on this Principle 1, which is the litigation before the International Criminal Court. And for example, the last communication, Article 16, we have sent to the ICC relates to hate speech in Russia and how it has contributed to war crimes in Ukraine. Last principle I would like to underline in the 3 seconds that I'm left is promote integrity and accountability to eliminate corruption, and announce that we are publishing together with Transparency International a guide on how to document and litigate corruption that has an impact on human rights, and to put victims at the center. All that to say that this event has been extremely inspiring, and the best way to hope is to act. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Gracias, Jimena. And thank you for your commitment just to safeguard human rights and through making those issues visible, and through using the rule of law through litigation to face for the victims and to fight for the victims.